Hey everybody, I just want to share some quick tips about bleaching or whitening a skull. I'm actually in the process of doing a beaver skull. The season opened for us here in Idaho November 1st, and the first beaver I caught was the largest I've ever caught, 64 pounds. I'll show a picture of that. Last year I caught one 62 pounds, did a cool skull mount with that, and I'll show a picture of that as well. In terms of the cream that I use, there's a 20, a 30, a 40. This is a 50, and I'll provide a link in the description below. And this is good stuff. You can get it in either 16 ounce, 32 ounce, or a full gallon. I usually use about half a bottle to do the beaver skull, but I put it pretty generously. But in the past, what I would do is I would take and I'd have the clean skull that's dried out. I'd put it in like a plastic container like this, and I would just kind of paint and make sure the skull was completely covered, and it would just be sitting there for a couple days. The jawbone separates, and so you've got those pieces in there. So I just make sure it's always damp, and it'd take a while, but it seems like after a day or two it'd get pretty clean. But after doing some reading, I heard that this developer, no matter which one you're using, it reacts and works better when it's warmed up. And that's why when you're in a salon or your wife's doing her hair at home, you'll see them put plastic or some kind of cover over their head, and that of course helps keep that heat in, and it, I guess, does a better job for the developer. So what I'm doing this year is with this skull is I've taken the skull and I put it in a Ziploc bag, and I've got the teeth in a separate bag, a couple bags actually, so I can keep track of them. But anyway, I've got this on low with some water in it, and I'm going to heat up that developer and let this sit here for a couple days because it's actually pretty cold in my garage. It's about 38 degrees right now. So just curious how this heating method works. Be curious to hear your comments on it. Obviously, you'd have to use saran wrap or plastic wrap or a plastic bag if you're doing a larger skull like a deer or elk. But curious to see how this turns out. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll wait 24 hours and pull it out and take a look, see what it looks like. Hey, good morning, guys. Last night before I went to bed, I checked on the crock pot, and the whole bag was just totally blown up, and not blown up like exploded, but just totally full, looked like air, but also tons of just foam, just tons of foam inside of there. The whole thing was really foamy. Same thing with the little bags with the teeth. So I went ahead and just turned it off last night. Came out first thing this morning. So right now it's now about 9 o'clock. I went ahead and took it out and rinsed it off and got a really nice white looking skull here. I mean, I'm really impressed with how white this sucker turned out. Even the little teeth in here, you can see just super, super white. I actually have the other remainder teeth inside. I need to dry those off, but see the jaw bones. Once I put this together, I'll show you the end result. But anyhow, I don't know why I just didn't know about this technique earlier, but I think something to consider is applying heat to that whitener that you use, and whether it's a deer skull where you got to put a little heater inside of maybe a cardboard box or a room or something, a small bathroom or something, just to get it heated, and then let that developer really penetrate the skull. It certainly seems like a good technique. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now, and my next video will be to show you the end result. Take care. Hey guys, I just want to show you the end results of this beaver skull. It actually turned out really good. You can see here. I've got one little spot that's kind of yellowed there for whatever reason, so I'm going to put a little bit more paste on there. But again, putting this to where there's heat involved made a huge difference. Here's the skull that I did where I just pasted or painted it on and just let it sit for a day. And you can kind of see, I mean, it still turned out good. It's definitely white, but It's more like an off-white compared to this. I mean, crazy difference in terms of the color. And this one I did for much shorter period of time, but again, I let the heat add it up, where this one was just done normally without a bag and without heat. So anyhow, hope that helps you guys. Thanks for watching, and please give this video a thumbs up. Take care.